That's Wendy with an I.
I did click whatever I.
Not Heidi with an I.
All right.
Oh, you are a Filipino. You are a Filipino.
Okay.
Oh, you know, she's on the list. What's your last name? Cater.
K-A-D-E-R.
Anyway, I know.
I guess I'm on the first page.
And I was Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi.
You're not gonna, once you sit down, you're just not gonna, yeah.
I brought this because I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, she's just borrowing.
Well,
That's my name too.
good afternoon, everybody. It's a joy to have you here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the effort that you made to be here. And I'm delighted that we get to spend this time together. I'm mindful of the time and of starting more or less on time, just because we tried to kind of make it possible for everybody to come who wanted to come. We're also live streaming this right now, so hopefully folks at home who are there are people on. Wow, there are people watching. I don't know who they are, but I can see the number. So and the number's going up, so that's really nice. No, I'm really thrilled and honored that you are giving your time to this in the congregation that I served in Austin, Texas for 33 years. For the last 10, 12 years or so, we used to have a meditation service every Wednesday afternoon. It's about 45 minutes, and we would do some of the kind of thing that we're going to be doing here today, but then toward the end, we would pick up the prayer book and we would just sing through a little service for like 20 minutes. And it was a really, really nice thing to do. And I'll say by serendipity, this can be a really nice thing to do. It just happens to be on a Wednesday because Wednesday is a point in the week where we've been really busy. There's a lot going on. And one thing that I really want to encourage you to do is to just take whatever you need from this time together. Whatever's going on with you, whatever you need. There's no judgment, there's no report cards, there's no being a good meditator or not such a good meditator, no grades. This is really, this is a gift to yourself. Let it just be that. Let it just be a gift to yourself, and I hope it's a gift and a blessing for you. We're going to be having one of these each Wednesday like this today and for 3 weeks after that. We just entered earlier this week the month of Elul. We'll talk a little bit about that. That's the month leading up to Rosh Hashanah, and this just seemed like a really nice thing to do. So, if I don't know why I like to take my glasses off to meditate, but I do. So, which is not required. And in terms of how you sit, I would just say, usually we don't think of sitting as an activity. We just kind of, I do. I just kind of plop down in a chair and that's it. There's no particular way that's the right way to sit, but I would just say pay attention to your comfort. And if you, however is going to be comfortable and relaxed for you, and while we're doing this, if you need to shift your weight or move around a little bit, that is like totally fine. Really allow yourself to be as comfortable as possible. For some people, closing their eyes is helpful because it's a way of kind of quieting outside stimulation and being able to, for some people, to be more present. If you're comfortable doing that, great. If you're not comfortable, another thing that you can do is just pick out a spot, even on the floor, a few feet in front of you, and just let your gaze be soft. You're not like focusing intensely, but just let your gaze be there. So, for those of us who are comfortable with letting our eyes close, let them close very gently. And just begin to enter into this practice of just sitting and being quiet. We live in a world in which just sitting quietly in the eyes of most of our culture would be equated with not doing anything. We live in a culture that often equates something being worthwhile, which I put in big imaginary air quotes, something being worthwhile with being busy, with being productive in the sense that I'm doing something that I could check off a list. So to have what we call in Jewish spiritual language the kavanah, the intention, to set time like this aside to deliberately and intentionally just be still is actually a pretty radical thing. Quiet is more than the absence of noise. Quiet is a thing unto itself, an experience unto itself. And stillness, having our bodies be still and at rest, is much more than simply a lack of motion. And it is possible, particularly when our lives become frantic, when there are so many demands, so many responsibilities that we have, it's possible to forget what it is like to just be quiet and still. And to realize that there are things that are, as it were, drowned out when we are distracted, in motion, multitasking. So we can begin to embrace the intention, the kavanah, of just noticing how it feels in our bodies to simply be sitting in this place and in this seat. What are you feeling in your body? You might notice if there are any places in your body that are tight or constricted in a way that's not necessary to just be sitting here like this. I just noticed as I was saying that my shoulders were shrugged, were sort of hunched up. And without actively trying to change anything, if you notice any places of tension or holding or constriction in your body, let that part of your body have a little Shabbat on a Wednesday afternoon. Give those places of constriction, if you find them, the permission. We say in Hebrew the reshut, to just have a little Shabbos, just let go. Whether you notice that constriction in your shoulders, your back, whether in giving some attention to your face, particularly your jaw and all the small muscles around your eyes, if you notice that any of that is scrunched up, you can breathe into that part of your body and just say, little Shabbat for you too. The day is moving toward a close. You can rest now. You can be at ease. I would also invite you to notice the places in which your body is in contact with your seat. Places of contact, places of pressure. Becoming aware of how the chair is supporting you, is holding you up. You might notice places where your lower back is getting some support from the back of the chair. You might notice your sit bones, the place where your pelvis is being supported by the chair. Give some attention as well, without changing anything, to the position of your hands, whether they're resting on your legs or in your lap or just hanging down loose at your side. And see if you can, in your mind's eye, notice the legs of the chair being held up by the floor. And moving downward, noticing that the floor is part of the foundation of this place here at the temple or wherever you might be, if you're online. So that ultimately, your body is being supported by the earth. You are being held up by the planet. You are secure. You can't fall. The earth is holding you up. And in fact, we have a blessing for this in the morning blessings of Shabbat and weekday, where we refer to God as Rokah ha'aretz al hamayim. We give thanks that there is literally firm earth above the waters. In fact, there's this sweet, beautiful Hebrew phrase in the prayer book for human being, for humanity. We refer to Yoshvei Tevel, literally all those who sit, all those who dwell, who rest upon the dry land. Reminding us that we are part of a greater humanity and a greater intricate web of life on this earth. So just a day or two ago, we began this month known in the Hebrew calendar as Elul, spelled with the Hebrew letters Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, Elul. And it is a month in which there are practices in our tradition to begin to make us ready for not only the new year, not only the holiday of Rosh Hashanah, but the work, the task of Rosh Hashanah, the task of renewal, the aspiration to be more awake in our lives, to see more clearly, to be more authentic and real in our relationships with others. So there is a playful understanding of the word Elul for this month that we're in that takes the Hebrew word Elul as an acronym. Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, Elul. And it says that Elul stands for a famous phrase from the book Song of Songs from the Bible, Shir HaShirim. So famous that a lot of people have this inscribed on a wedding band. The phrase is Ani L'Dodi, V'Dodi Li. Ani Dodi, I am my beloved's. V'dodi li, and my beloved is mine. The idea that there is a return to love that is part of the energy of this month. And although in future weeks together coming up, we may find ourselves reflecting upon turning toward those that we love in our lives. Ani l'dodi v'dodi li, I am for my beloved and my beloved is for me, the way that we love and care for and accept each other, take care of each other. Today, we focus on the beloved that is our own soul, our own vitality, our own mind and heart. What does it mean for us to give love to ourselves? To be as tender and compassionate with our own minds and hearts, with our own experience, as we would be for someone that we love very much. What does it mean to be tender toward ourselves when we suffer? What does it mean to be gentle with ourselves when we notice a harsh, critical voice that arises? It may be a voice, it may be a criticism that is so familiar to us that we're not even aware when it comes up. What does it mean to speak to our own minds and hearts with the same tenderness that we would speak to someone that we love very much? And what effect might it have ultimately on the way that we move through the world with ourselves and with others if we cultivated this kind of generosity and care and tenderness and love toward our own experience? It's not easy being a person. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we have to forgive ourselves. Sometimes we have to understand that mistakes are the way that we learn. Sometimes we have to remember one of the most famous lines in Torah. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Love your neighbor as yourself. Which points toward the truth that in order to be loving and generous toward others, I need to begin with genuine love and concern for my own mind and heart, my own experience. And that takes practice. And that is one of the reasons that we sit, that we meditate. In just a moment or two, we're going to take a few minutes just to be still and quiet, and I'll offer a bit of instruction for that. But because we are moving toward the new Jewish year, moving through Elul, I wanted to offer an image, a poetic phrase from one of the many, many piyutim, these elaborate prayer poems that are all over the place, bursting forth from the liturgy of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. They're called piyutim. There's one that begins with the phrase and with the image, El Melech Yoshev Al Kisei Rachamim. Kisei means chair or seat or throne. El is God. Rachamim means compassion. It imagines God seated on a foundation, on a throne of Rachamim. Rachamim is related to the Hebrew word rechem, which means womb, place of nurturing, a place of safety. So we too can be sitting here now, each of us, on a kisei rachamim, on a chair of a seat of compassion, of safety, of generosity. We can be sitting on a chair, on a seat of rachamim, so that we approach ourselves, we feel our life energy, we connect with our souls and our hearts again and again and again with the same love, the same tenderness, the same kindness that we would extend to the people that we love the most. And mixed in with that compassion, that tenderness, that rachamim, we can also broaden our awareness just a bit to remember that we are not alone in this moment. We are in a room, and beyond this room, online, in a community in which we can hold each other's presence in gratitude for being here. We can appreciate the way that the presence of those with us, and even those who will watch the video later on, gives us strength and support to be here in this peaceful way. How miraculous, how beautiful that we're all here. So you can, as you cultivate this tenderness toward yourself, cultivate and share a little bit of that tenderness with those around you, even without seeing them, even without knowing their names in some cases, just wishing them shalom. May this time be a blessing for you. So, I want to invite you to allow your attention very gently to move toward the physical experience of breathing. Not to change anything, but just to notice the breath coming in through your mouth or nose, and then leaving warmed by your body into the air, into the sky. We're not thinking about breathing, just noticing how it feels to be drawing breath. This is what the Torah calls nishmat chayim, the breath of life. I'll invite you just to spend the next minute or so just with the kavanah, with the intention of just fully experiencing and staying with how it feels to be breathing. And here's where the rachamim, the compassion, comes in. When you notice that your mind has wandered and you've forgotten about the breath, to know that that is part of the process. That's the way our minds work. And without the tiniest speck of criticism, with compassion, with kindness, just to gently come back to the sensation of breath. We'll just be with our breathing for a minute or so. So we're going to do a little singing together. You can let your eyes be closed if you like, if they're still closed. This is a melody by Rabbi Shefa Gold, Reconstructionist renewal rabbi who's written countless lovely chants for words from the prayer book and from Torah. And the words to this are Ozi v'zimratia. It's from the Song of the Sea that has Micha Mocha in it. Ozi v'zimratia, God is my strength and my refuge. Vayhi li lishua, and for me this is a place of safety. Ozi v'zimratia, vayhi li lishua. Some of us may know it, and we'll sing it a bunch of times, and the melody goes like this, and as you can listen, or if you don't know it, as you pick it up, please sing along. It goes like this. Ozi v'zimratia vayhi li lishua. Beautiful. Then that repeats. Ozi v'zimratia vayhi li lishua. Second part goes like this. Ozi v'zimratia vayhi li lishua. And again. Ozi v'zimratia vayhi li lishua. Beautiful, that's the whole thing. Ozi v'zimratia vayhi li lishua. 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 Okay, last time. Ozi v'zimratia vayhi li lishua. Ozi v'zimrat ya vayhi lishua ozi v'zimrat ya vayhi lishua ozi v'zimrat ya vayhi lishua. So without rushing or hurrying, if you've had your eyes closed, when you're ready, you can let them gently open.
We're so good. It sounded really good.
I wanted to, again, thank you all for coming. We'll be doing this 3 more times. And just to share really one thought, and then we'll do a little closing thing. I personally am not someone given to certainty. I admire people who have certainty. It's just not how I'm wired. It reminds me of a teacher, Professor Leonard Kravitz, not that Lenny Kravitz, although he had a picture of that Lenny Kravitz on his door, but someone gave him. But Professor Leonard Kravitz, I have to say, Alav HaShalom, he just passed away a couple of months ago. Yeah, loved him, and very, very funny. He would pepper his like lectures on Maimonides' Guide for the Perplexed with all these Yiddishisms. He was a riot, and one of his expressions was, certainty does not make you correct. Certainty makes you certain. So with all that even, I will tell you something that if I'm not certain about, that the older I get and the longer I'm lucky to be walking this planet, the more convinced I am that this is true. And that is not narcissism, not ego, not having a fat head, but the more genuine tenderness that we have for ourselves, the more we will have for the people around us. When I am angry and unforgiving with myself, I will not have tenderness for the people around me in the measure that I would like. Which is why in this season where we talk about a word that we didn't use during the meditation, which is teshuvah, which means turning or returning, coming back, why we might start with our own hearts. Just remembering, who I am and who I aspire to be, and just giving myself lots of grace. Grace, by the way, is not just a Christian word. The Hebrew word for grace is chen. The name Hannah comes from chen, from grace. So here's a closing thing that we do. As I thank you all for coming, I want to invite you to. It's not going to be weird. Don't worry, this is not going to be too weird. What is he going to do? I want to invite you to stand up and just take a few steps inward so that we're not crowded, but just so that we have actually a circle. It's like the last day without the camera. May we take a measure of whatever blessing we have drawn from this time and take it with us. May we be able to bring whatever peace and stillness and healing have been our lot at this time together with us as well. And with tenderness and love, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Holy One bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May the Eternal shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Holy One be with you and help you to find shalom, wholeness, and peace in a world, we pray, of justice and safety and healing and equality and peace. L'chol yoshvei tevel, for all who like us sit and dwell upon this earth. And together that we say. Big virtual hugs, guys. Thanks for coming. Look forward to seeing you next time. Yeah, thank you for being here. All right. Ooh, real hugs. Yeah. Very nice. All right, people at home, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye.